What you are listening to is real. The parties involved are not cool. They are actual geeks with a case pending in the court of public opinion. The party's case has been dismissed, and the dispute will be settled here on our podcast. There will be no lawyers. There will be no witness testimony. The judge's decisions are final.
Hello, I'm Judge Ivan.
I'm Judge Jonathan, and this is Geeks on Trial. Today's case, digital drag.
Welcome to Geeks on Trial. This is the podcast where we settle petty disputes between actual geeks over movies, video games, board games, and more. If you would like to submit your own geeky case for future episodes, you can email us at geeksontrial@gmail.com. You can also support the show over at patreon.com/geeksontrial. For just a few bucks a month, you can gain early access to our audio and video episodes before they're released to the general public.
You know, we should have started today's episode maybe instead of saying, I'm Judge Jonathan, could have said, it's me, Judge Jonathan, hoo-hoo.
Why?
Oh, well, you see, there's a guy named Mario,
okay.
And I don't know if you've heard about this, but he has a movie coming out, and it's out now if you're watching or listening to this episode, which of course is available at all places.
Mario Cantone?
Mario Cantone,
he's the only
Mario
famous...
Batali, Mario Lopez.
Oh, that's another Mario.
There's plenty of Marios. Mario.
Is that his? That's what his last name is, right?
Well, in the first movie, canonically, which is not, I should say, it's not canonical in Bob Hoskins' Mario. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and find out in the new DreamWorks Illumination Mario movie. Is he gonna be Mario?
Is it gonna be?
There's a lot of questions that have to be asked and then later perhaps answered. But of course, before we get to our case today, I thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about the Mario movie in particular. Mm-hmm. This is a big couple of weeks, by the way, back to back, a D&D movie and a Mario movie, which at least the D&D movie, I haven't seen either of these still yet.
Neither have I.
Want to see both. That's supposed to be good. So like two potentially good geek movies, icons in mainstream cinema,
which I have gripes on right off the bat on their timing, which I think I've mentioned this before. Why aren't they coming out in the summer?
Well, April is the new summer. This is now when this is when the summer movie season starts.
Is this a thing?
Well, it gets earlier every year, but certainly I think officially, unofficially, officially, I feel like April 28th, like last weekend in April, is the start of the summer movie season. So you're right. They are technically, I think, still both pre-summer, but it's close.
Okay. I disagree with it, but whatever.
Hey, I mean, the calendar is on your side.
Because not even even if you were to go with college summer or school summer, it doesn't even coincide with that.
Yeah. I mean, it is spring. It just turned spring.
Right. It's still here in New Jersey. It's still kind of winter too. So
capitalism works in mysterious ways. It's a different type of timekeeping they have over there in capitalism land. Anyway, the reason I wanted to bring up Mario, which I thought might be fun to talk about on the show, is that I got a chance to go to a very special exclusive event.
Ooh.
And I'm bringing the scoop only to you listeners and viewers of Geeks on Trial.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Man, with your parties and your mushrooms and your...
What can I say? I'm sort of a big deal. It's true. So people may not know, I do some writing over on the Nintendo fan site, gonintendo.com. And it was because of that little connection I had the chance, I was invited to get to go to Brooklyn, New York.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Me too. It's a trek that you got to make from New Jersey to a Shake Shack in downtown Brooklyn. It's actually in the Dumbo.
There are
region. I don't know
if you just wanted
about Dumbo.
Dumbo, the flying elephant.
They call it Dumbo because it's down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. The Dumbo region of Brooklyn.
It's down under.
All the Australians go there.
Oh, it's little Australia.
Now, yes, I know you're saying there's a Shake Shack I could go to in my own.
Right.
Here,
There's
right
plenty.
here in
There's
New
like
Jersey.
at least 4 between you and Brooklyn.
But for one exclusive night only last weekend, this Shake Shack was converted into a Mario movie hype fest.
It's a little pop-up.
And not only that, it was hosted by, and I didn't tell you this detail before, hosted by a celebrity.
Ooh.
I'll give you
Go ahead.
a real celebrity. I'll give you a hint. It's not anyone who's in the movie.
Of course.
And as far as I know, he has nothing to do with the movie.
So it's somebody they found probably on Cameo to come.
I'll give you another hint. It's a musician.
Okay.
It's a musical artist who is pretty popular, like modern musical artist.
Male or female or other?
Male.
Okay.
Male. I'll give you one guess.
Bono.
People under the age of 30 will still care about this person.
So I will not know who it is.
But I didn't get the chance to meet him, but he was there.
Bono?
Did I give you a clue? It was Chance the Rapper.
Well, okay. I find that funny because you said Chance a few times, and I was going to make was it Chance the Rapper joke?
Seed.
But
you didn't pick up on it. Oh well. He was there. It was hosted by him, which meant he hung out in the corner.
Did he
Shake Shack.
MC the event?
No, he didn't perform. He did talk a little bit on the mic.
Oh, so he was just kind of like, they're like, oh, we need a large. Is he popular?
Oh yeah, he's popular.
Okay.
I mean, he hosted SNL. I think he's won Grammys.
Okay.
I'm old, so don't ask me.
I don't know. I just found out what Mario is, so I don't.
Yeah, it's a confusing time for you right now. Aren't you still figuring out what D&D is?
Who? I just learned what a podcast was yesterday.
Anyway, for people who want to see it, I don't know. You can maybe check out my write-up on Go Nintendo where I had a bunch of photos and everything. But to sum it up,
hold on. It's not time for plugs yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. At the end
Save
of the
that
show.
for the end of the show.
But to sum it up, it was just a little hype event for influencers, stuff like that. But they had like some special burgers and a shake that was supposed to be Mario themed. They also had outside like a giant question mark block. And inside they had an actual Mario Kart.
Ooh.
I have a photo of me in the Mario Kart.
Now, did you go under the block and try to get anything out of it?
I punched that thing so many times, and no.
Nothing?
There was nothing came out.
Damn
nothing
it.
came out.
I
also they eventually kicked me out of the Mario Kart because I kept throwing banana peels all over the place.
Well, you brought your own, which is weird.
Yeah, well, who doesn't usually have a pocket full of banana peels?
Right. I thought you were just happy to see me.
Yeah, the peel represents me when I'm happy.
Right.
To see it. That about approximates the shape of it.
And the color too, which is
and it like splays out
right.
in that way.
Yeah.
People know what we're talking about.
Right. So what was the
Anyway,
burger?
yeah.
What you said it was a special burger, or was it Mario themed, or was it just special in general?
Mario themed in the sense that it had mushroom on it. So Shake Shack has the mushroom patty.
Okay, which I like their mushroom patty, but
Me too.
They could have gone like a whole route of like an Italian burger, like a chicken parm style burger, or like
Well, it had like chili sauce on it. Was the thing.
That's Sonic.
That was it.
Sonic is chili.
You're right.
So it sounds like. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, they also had a Princess Peach shake.
Was it actually peach flavored?
Peach and strawberry flavored, and it had a little dried star fruit as a garnish.
It looks like
So
it sounds like
star.
they put more effort into the shake than the burger.
The shake definitely, I thought, was the more fun, felt more like an actual Mario theme.
Right. Well, remember, like, Nintendo's not really good at the whole food thing, because remember how Cold Stone Creamery did the Animal Crossing tie-in with their ice cream?
And Kirby and Mario, yeah.
None of them really, like, added up to, like, I think Animal Crossing's like, here's some brownie and banana.
I wanted to try those so bad. I never got I feel like the Kirby one seemed like the best because it was pink and it had marshmallows in it.
Right.
That's Kirby.
Yeah. So
the other ones were.
What else happened at this event? Did they show any clips of the movie, or was this kind of like a get together?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, the Shake Shacks in New York aren't huge, so It was weird going into it because I assume, because it was an exclusive event, it was like, it felt like I was waiting outside to get into a club. Like they had a bouncer and everything.
So, like, was your name on a list?
My name was on a list.
That's funny.
I know it is. It was a very interesting experience, and it was fun. But
what was your outfit? Did you wear like a Mario themed outfit, or did you actually dress like a normal person?
No, I dressed like a normal. Okay. I think I saw maybe one person who had kind of a Mario outfit. One thing I saw which I really liked was a family and their daughter was out because they had like a big poster outside and like the question mark block, and they also had the Mario van. Those were all outside, so you could take pictures of it with them. You didn't need to be invited. And there was this little kid, and they were taking pictures, and somebody from inside came out and gave her a hat.
Oh, that's cute. That's
which I thought was nice. Yeah.
Because you can invite all these influencers who probably have no idea what Nintendo is, but it's really about the fans. I guess it is a kids movie, but it's really aimed towards like us.
A little of both. Yeah, they want the nostalgia crowd.
Now, let me ask you a question. This took place in New York. The Mario brothers are famously from Brooklyn. This is a Universal picture, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I believe so.
30 Rock is in Manhattan. 30 Rock also has the Nintendo store. Why not over at a bigger events?
Shake Shack. It's about the burgers.
You don't think you could bring a Shake Shack truck to 30 Rock?
Maybe you could, but I don't know. They need the special Shake Shack grill.
True. They need that filth.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a Five Guys guy over Shake Shack, but I do like Shake Shack.
I mean, I usually prefer Five Guys as well, but that's a different conversation.
Are you not? Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's not free. Well, they could bring burgers. Now,
no, okay.
What? So how long were you at the event?
Couple hours. It was like a 3-hour event. So
was it just you like schmoozing with other people, networking, or was there like things going on?
No, it was someone was playing music. There was a DJ, and it was just like I said. You could get food, you could get drinks, you could get some swag, and you could take a picture in the Mario Kart, or you could try to make your way into the VIP corner and ambush Chance the Rapper. Other than that, there was nothing to do. You were talking to people, or you were leaving.
And you didn't notice anybody else there of like Nintendo fame? Nobody.
Shigeru Miyamoto did not show up to the Shake Shack, I'm afraid. Charlie Day wasn't around. Jack Black didn't pop up in a Bowser uniform.
And I also like the other day it's rare that I watch the news, but the Today Show was on and they're an NBC 30 Rock show, and they were, they had the guys from the movie on, and it was so weird that they didn't mention like the Nintendo store or like go over there to film. It's literally a block away. It might be in 30 Rock.
You want everything to be at the Nintendo store.
Yeah. Because I think that's the only Nintendo store in the U.S., right?
Pretty sure.
I mean, minus, I guess, there's going to be one at Universal.
Sure, if you count that, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the flagship. And then I think there's one in Tokyo, and I think that's it.
Interesting. Because the one in New York used to be a Pokemon Center or whatever they called that back in the day when we first went. No, but seems like a really cool event that you were invited to. But
it was cool. It was cool.
It's a typical influencer event where it's like, okay, we put a sticker on this. Come on.
Yeah,
out.
It was. This is not the kind of thing I'm used to going to, so it was weird from that perspective of seeing. Most of the people there were definitely younger than I am and like cooler than I am.
Right.
But there were some older people too. But it wasn't the crowd of video game fans. I think there were probably more people there who were Chance the Rapper fans.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's just the vibe I got.
Right.
I could be wrong, but it was that kind of thing.
Now, they had the burger. What'd you think of the burger?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. If you like the mushroom burger, it was good. Just had a little extra heat to it. The shake was good too, but both items, unfortunately, are not going. That was only for this event,
which is weird. I guess it's not an official tie-in. They just kind of rented a Shake Shack.
It feels like a missed opportunity to me. But I will say, don't feel too bad because it's not. They weren't so different from what you can just get at a Shake Shack.
Right. Like I'm sure you can go in and order a peach shake.
Yeah. You're missing out on the little like garnish and some.
I think I've only been to
sprinkles,
Shake
which I didn't like.
Shack once.
Like I said, they're good, but they're just too pricey. They're just too pricey.
Yeah, and for a hamburger, like Five Guys is pushing it for me, but Five Guys gives you things. Like they give you
That's what I say. I say Five Guys gives you what you pay for.
Right.
You
like
know?
you get
it's expensive
sack of French fries.
Yeah, you're going to be full at the end of it. Shake Shack, I feel like their portions need to be bigger to justify the price.
Yeah, they do. Like they do have some cool things. Like I like the mushroom burger and the veggie options, but I don't know. My favorite.
Should we get to the case?
No.
Okay, go on. What's your favorite?
Was the one we went to in Indiana when we used to go to Gen Con.
Oh, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. That's the
Steak and Shake is, well, we don't need to get into going down the rabbit hole of Steak and Shake, but there's good Steak and Shakes and bad Steak and Shakes.
Yeah.
And you get a good Steak and Shake. That was a damn good Steak and Shake.
And you could spend $8 for 3 people. Like they were cheap.
Oh, yeah. That's also Indiana, so that might have contributed.
Well, yeah. But yeah, let's get into the case.
All right. We do have a case today, and it is video game related. Today's case comes to us from the internet. You can find a link in our episode description, and it revolves around an individual I'm going to call Pat. Pat is a man in his 20s, but more importantly, he's a gamer. Nothing wrong with that. We love gamers here on Geeks on Trial. We're gamers ourselves. However, Pat's boyfriend takes issue with one aspect of Pat's gaming: the gender he chooses to play as in some of the games he takes part in. That gender, what is it, you're asking? It's female. Now, in games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Tomb Raider, and others in which you get to choose your own character, Pat occasionally plays as a woman. As a result, his boyfriend is questioning Pat's very sexual and gender identity, even reportedly being moved to tears over his concern. Pat says he's not doing this consciously and doesn't think it has anything to do with his identity, but even one of Pat's close friends and his own parents think Pat's boyfriend might be onto something with this theory. As dual judges here on Geeks on Trial, it's now our job to determine whether Pat is being inconsiderate for upsetting his boyfriend with his choice of gender role-playing, or if we should all be free to choose whatever sex or gender we desire in reality and digitally without fear or consequence of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
This touches on a bunch of subjects. Yeah, sure, video game related, but yeah, I have opinions.
Gender identity is a touchy subject that.
Well, don't touch them.
You
stop.
want consent before you're going to touch the subject. It's important to establish, I think, as we get going, we obviously are in support of whatever. I hope maybe it's not obvious. I'm going to make it obvious now. Whatever gender you want to identify as,
right.
whatever you are, have a ball.
Right.
Have two if you want. I don't care. And I'm even going to say this right away. To me, this case is has an obvious verdict coming to it. So I don't think that this episode is going to be so much about debating the guilt or innocence of Pat, because to me that's kind of a foregone conclusion, as much as it is just kind of walking through the details and the nuance of it, and how strange it is. As somebody who is gay and in a relationship, you didn't know that? I thought you were sad.
Both. I could be both.
Okay. I understand.
This is so weird that like my partner plays his video games. He plays World of Warcraft. He plays as a cow. I'm not thinking, this man is into bestiality and this is his thing. This is what, I'm not checking his browser history, seeing like, he's loving these cow udders. And it's somebody that you pick as a character and you play as. Cause even My partner Danny, he's friends with all of us, and he played
acquaintance.
I mean, he shows up. He plays I'm not even a font anyway. He he plays D&D with us, where he plays his same character, a cow, and it's not weird. It's just a character that you choose to play, and I would never think like, oh, he's playing as a cow. What's going on with this? He plays as a cow in 2 games? Ooh, this must be something I need to watch out. You know, we've been together coming up this May for 10 years, and it's never been like a weird thing that was like, oh, who he picks. In Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers, I play as a robot.
Well,
now, you know. There is a stereotype that a lot of times that online that like a straight man will play as a woman because it's what they like to look at is always the thing. And it's just like,
right.
Okay, fine. If you have to stare at this person, but it's also like you're staring at some pixelated butt.
Yeah, I mean that's I do think there are real people who are like that. I feel like I've seen that as a joke online.
Which, by the way, pixelated butt is my OnlyFans name.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
not telling you.
Top tier.
I know.
Oh, right. For the listeners and the
right.
viewers, right? You know that makes sense. You want to get the word out on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. You do good content
Thank
on
you.
there. It's worth the money.
Yep.
It's worth the monthly fee. First of all, there's so many places to go.
I know.
Would you say, I want to ask you as the person who has another person, would you say is Danny the more gamer of the two of you, or do you think you're equal of gamer?
So every day when he comes,
it well.
And you were invited to this Mario event as a media person. I don't know. So every day when he comes home from work, he sits down. I'm watching TV. He's playing a game, some kind of game, either the Pokemon, the WoW. He just got into a game called Rust.
Oh boy, that's a thing.
So like every day from like he's actively gaming every day, but he plays older games. Where I play more of the newer games. Like I have a PS5. We play board games, you know. So I would say it's equal. Like him and I can have conversations about gaming. We don't often game as a couple just because time doesn't line up. But yeah, we are. I would say we're equal gamers. Different games, but yes, we're equal gaming people.
Okay, and you would, and as you said, neither of you have noticed about the other a particular proclivity towards playing as one gender or the other. But what is your? Maybe it's not a type of game you play. I feel like it's usually in role-playing games, but nowadays even, you know, there's Animal Crossing, Splatoon has it. A lot of games give you a choice of gender, or I've noticed lately there has been, I feel, kind of a push away from it saying male and female, and I've seen I specifically in a few recent Nintendo games, I think, and I think some others, where it will say just choose a style. Right. And they'll kind of have a more feminine and a more masculine, but they don't want to exclude anybody, so they're not even using the words male or female, right. Which I'm sure makes Tucker Carlson very upset. But what is your typical? Are you the kind of person who, when there's like a created character, do you try to make it as close to you in real life as possible, or do you go for something different or completely the opposite?
So like when I used to play The Sims off and on quite a bit, and I would create something close to me. It would I would always pick male, which is what I identify as: he, him, they, unicorn. But I will choose a male character to play at. Even I think in Animal Crossing, I was the more masculine character. In some of the things, I would have my character wear a dress because it would just look, interesting in the shop. But normally. Normally, it would be a male, masculine character. How about you? What do you side with?
I'm the same way, and I don't know if it's just lack of creativity or like I want to feel like I'm inhabiting the character on the screen.
That's the thing for me is like it's an avatar for me. It's I usually name it Ivan. or my online names. But it's usually, I want to be the character in the video game world, which is why I play video games.
Yeah, I'll be honest. There is a part of me that I think avoids playing as a female character when it's a choice in a video game or in a tabletop role-playing game. I even don't know if I will be able to fully articulate why, but I'm gonna, maybe as we discuss it, I'll figure it out, but I'll try to.
It turns you on too much.
I will be out of control.
Just raging.
Cranking the hog right at the table. What's that?
What?
Sorry, cut out for a second. I missed that last part. I feel like it's not, although I am very insecure in every aspect of myself.
As you should be. Yep.
It's not that I'm like, I don't want people to think that I'm homosexual or that I'm trans or secretly want to be a woman or anything like that.
Well, I've thought you were gay for years.
The jury's still out. I'll let you know.
Okay.
It's every day's a mystery when I wake up. I'm like, which one do I like?
He has a coin he flips next to his bed and goes, well, I guess that's it.
On one side, I've got a Playboy calendar, and the other side, a Playgirl, and every day I'm like, no, not quite.
Not today.
It's not. Not today. Mm-mm. Maybe tomorrow.
They're both from 1987. So these calendars.
Yeah, well, that was the era of the hottest folk.
Yep.
And I think what it is I feel that I'm worried people will go. I guess what I'm worried is that other people will just think, oh, you're like, because you're a person who's playing as the opposite gender, that means you're like trying to make a statement, or you're trying to say something, or you're being like, oh, I'm such a feminist that I play as a woman, so look how woke I am. Or I don't know if that's necessarily what it is,
right.
But there's something where I feel like being just choosing my gender is like, well, that's the default as it's viewed in society. So it's like nobody thinks about that. But if I choose to play as a woman, then I feel like there's a chance someone goes, oh, interesting. Why'd you pick that? Because that's not what you are. And I just don't know. And I always try to avoid any kind of scrutiny or attention to myself.
Right. Well, which is why you never play Metroid games. You stay away from Metroid games. You only play the Mario franchises.
Let me tell you, when I got to the end of Metroid for the first time, I was shook when I found out it was a woman.
Well, you were shaking something.
I
Your
was
dick?
shook. So, I mean, yeah, obviously this doesn't apply to games where there's no option.
Well, and that's the thing, too.
For me, at least.
There's not a lot of games that I play where it's like you choose your gender. But I honestly never think about it. Like, I never, think about, oh, let me play as this. Oh, is somebody going to judge me on this? Oh, why am I picking said character? 9 times out of 10...
Because you're a normal, healthy person. In that regard.
Yeah, okay. Don't talk to my therapist. But there are, what I will do is look at the stats. Is, in a game where you have to choose based on stats of a character, if the female character is stronger, and in my opinion, all women are stronger than men.
You're right. Couldn't agree more.
You have to choose based on that. That's how I pick. Is the character going to be better for me in the video game? And I don't care. When we used to go to conventions and sit down in a room and play with other people, I would pick whatever character was given to me. Even when we play, when we have our game nights, somebody will be like, here, choose your character. Stats don't matter. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, just give me a character.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about board games, or anything, or those are very different, as well as, say, a fighting game, like a Street Fighter or Tekken, because like you said, it's not about, choose the, gender or style or look you want to have. It is, I like a faster character.
Right.
So, then that's definitely a whole other thing to think about. Now, in this specific case, Pat name drops 2 games wherein you don't have a choice. You're always playing as a woman. Yeah, as well as, and then mentions fighting games and other things. it's not really clear. There's not enough evidence from my view to say if Pat really is making this a habit per se. Now, I will say this, all kind of a little bit in defense of the other people in this case, but it's sort of an issue of, I think that sometimes something can mean something, but doesn't necessarily mean something. And I'll explain what I mean. Speaking as, just to be clear, a straight cis man. So anyone who identifies otherwise, who has actual experience with this, feel free to comment or write in and tell me your own experiences. But from anecdotally, from what I've seen and heard, I think it's fairly common in our generation, at least, for people who realized that they were trans later on in life, probably growing up, did often play as the opposite gender in video games.
Right.
Not being consciously aware of why they were doing it.
And because it's a way they can express themselves via, because I know before I came out, let's say, bring it back to The Sims, which is a game that you could fully customize. I would always have my characters be same sex. So if they were in a relationship, it would be male and male.
Yeah. It's a way for you to, be more true to yourself.
Right.
Without necessarily being judged.
Right.
Like you can kind of get away with it a little bit in that regard. So, there's no basis for this. Now, that said, in this scenario, Pat is 25, I believe. So, I mean, some people are late bloomers, but I feel like in the 2020s,
you would know.
Yeah, you're probably at a point where you're comfortable enough. I mean, he's openly gay, so it's not like if there was a stigma against it, you'd think there would be a stigma against the homosexuality as well.
Right.
I mean, and this is, I guess, where I just come out and say it, that I think that Pat's boyfriend and family are being patently, pun intended, ridiculous.
No,
about
it's like they're purposely pointing out Pat's issues. I couldn't think of our fourth P. And that they're trying to purposely make him feel ashamed of picking these characters, where it might not even be something that he is purposely doing. And
it's very strange. Yeah, it feels like it sounds like Pat's boyfriend is genuinely upset about it because they actually think that the relationship is going to be ruined because they think they aren't attracted to him anymore or something like that.
Which is funny that it's interesting because usually you see these memes and stuff online of a straight couple being like, oh, why are you playing as a female character? Is she more attractive than I am? You would think it would be the opposite. I mean, I guess LGBT couples can do the same thing, but it'd be weird. He's doing the opposite. It's not something he's looking at and being attracted to said character. And I would be, if the video game was realistic, maybe I'd be like, hey, why are you always playing as this hunk of a guy all the time? Is this something I need to bump my standards up to? But if my partner was playing as a woman all the time, I'd be like, okay, it's
yeah, right. Right. It is a strange, I don't know what those boundaries and standards are, but it's funny that, the stereotypical thing is the family confronting the child about being gay. And in this instance, it's the boyfriend being like,
you straight?
You straight.
Right. Now, it is interesting because sure, if they've been in a relationship for a while and there are thoughts of if he saw there was a dress in his closet and there was this and there's other things that was maybe they're thinking of transitioning, because that would be, for me personally, it's if my partner were to be hey, I identify as a female, that would be a conversation you would bring up.
It's a conversation to have. Yeah.
But if there was no other ties into it and it's just, oh, he's playing as a chick in a video game, okay,
it seems like a lot to
and also,
extrapolate.
Okay, fine, the partner knows about it, but it's mentioned the parents knowing about it. My mom doesn't
true.
know what kind of video games or what characters I play. Even as a kid, they didn't care.
The case file, as I'm going to call it, makes it sound like the parents are the same way they might be like, oh yeah, we always kind of thought maybe you would turn out to be gay. It sounds like they're saying, oh yeah, we always noticed you like playing as those women and you might like being a woman. Like, it's such a weird thing to even notice.
And like, even if, because what'd you say, like about 24, 25?
Yeah.
So most likely still living with somebody's parents, but like, why are you why is this coming up at conversation all the time? Like, maybe this is your partner being like trying to push the end of the relationship anyway. Like it seems like they're trying to find something to be like, we're done. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they're trying to they're digging a hole that doesn't need to be dug.
It seems like, how insecure do you have to be in your relationship?
Right.
If what your partner's video game playing habits are can threaten it this much.
Now, I could see, like, if it was like you're in a chat room with a video game and you're talking to somebody often. Sure, that could be problematic, but the character you play.
Even like a D&D style role-playing game is a step further where you're actually acting as that character.
Well, because what does the R and the P stand for?
That would be... Hold on, I don't want to get this wrong. Role-playing.
Which is what? You're playing a different person, a different character.
Right.
You're changing your role in life. Like, I'm not playing... Like, when we play D&D, I'm not playing a nerdy, sad video editor.
It's like, I'm trying to think. Henry Cavill's girlfriend is worried because she thinks he might be Superman.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know why that's the first thing that popped into my head. Does Henry Cavill have a girlfriend or a wife? I don't know anything about these people's personal lives. But yeah, it's acting. You're
role playing.
But I will say, I still think it's pretty ridiculous. But at least if the pattern was in role playing games, you are more inhabiting that character's personality than a video game. 99% of scenarios, unless you're on like a Discord server where you're role playing while you play the game,
right?
You're not putting yourself into this character. You know, you're playing out a set of pre-programmed storylines.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, like I said, The Sims or Second Life. I don't know if that's even still a thing. I'm old. Or even like
it's a thing. There's a bunch of weirdos playing Second Life.
Or even like VR, where you are literally the person.
Oh yeah, that's big in VR.
But even then, like, okay, you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, like he's playing as a woman or a character that identifies as a woman. Like, it's not like he's randomly going to Pornhub and looking at straight porn. Like
that's the one detail left out of the case.
So while he's in the video game, there's just a video going on of just two women doing whatever women do.
You guys don't always pair your video games with Girls Gone Wild videos?
That's why I have a VCR over here. They're only on VHS, and boy, are they sticky.
Ooh, well, yeah, yeah. I don't know how to follow up that sticky comment. Keep thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Keep thinking about that stick.
And the E.
Anyway, but yeah, the role playing at least would be a little bit more. But yeah, there is something. It is silly. Now you brought up VR, and I do think that's a big thing that I think is really cool about VR is people can go in there and completely invent a new identity in a lot of these VR chat programs. There's a documentary that's on HBO Max, and I can't remember what it's called, so good luck, go Google it. But the whole documentary was shot literally in the VR chat program and was about couples who live distant relationships, and they met in VR. I think maybe it's called We Met in VR or something like that.
It's a terrible time.
And like some of them like get married in VR, and they're just, you can be whatever you want to be in there. And I think that's great. So like, that's a great thing that can happen. You can use video games and virtual reality and role-playing games to live out another persona.
Right. It's a surrogate life.
It doesn't inherently mean that that's to jump to that conclusion is the leap that too far.
Right. And to put, like, if there is literally nothing else, like they don't mention in the case file that, like I said, Pat has other things. There's chat history, there's search history. Like, if this is the only thing,
yeah,
maybe your insecurities are pushing yourself forward. Maybe, like, you know, like it's weird.
Verdicts?
Ooh, yeah, I think it's time for verdicts. Let's
All right. I mean, I feel like we've summed it up pretty well at this point. This was one of those cases that was more for the discussion for me than it was for the outcome, because this was one of the more cut and dry ones where I think clearly Pat is not guilty of any wrongdoing.
Right.
But Pat should be able to play as whatever genders they want, and this shouldn't even have come up. It should never have been an issue for all the reasons that we already stated. Not guilty for me.
100% not guilty. And on top of that, Pat shouldn't be guilty for what characters they are playing in these video games, because, you know, it's a character. It's a game. It's not like you're going out in real life and choosing something else. And if that's what you want to do, fine, go ahead and do it. But it's a video game. So 100% not guilty. Now, what's the sentencing for Pat's partner? Right? Would it be Pat's partner?
Yeah. Pat's partner.
What's Pat's partner's name?
A lot of good popping on this episode. Pat's partner problems. Pat's partner. We didn't name them. I just called them Pat's boyfriend.
What's a good hard P name?
Percy.
Percy. Pat's partner, Percy.
Yeah, their sentencing has got to be. I mean, you know, again, I always go for the ironic ones. Like, do they have to live as a woman for a while, or do they have to have sex with a woman?
Oh God, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody.
No, that's not on my worst enemy. Nope. When I want them to have to do that. Not in a million years.
I don't. What would be a good one? Because this is a good group sentencing that we can do.
Maybe they have to do an extended, some kind of role playing scenario, and I don't mean in the bedroom. I mean a role playing game, and there are several of these independent indie RPGs you can find online that are off the beaten path. They aren't fantasy themed. They're some like romance themed and more modern types of scenarios. And it might be interesting to do one of those about a couple, just to play out, just to encourage an actual conversation between the two of them.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Because of communication. And maybe you swap the genders or something, and maybe they both play as women.
Also,
just to mix things up.
Because I'm just adding mine onto yours because it makes sense. Yeah, therapy. Just.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the funny ones, but yeah, for reality, couples
therapy.
Go
to couples therapy. Not even just regular therapy, because you're thinking, and maybe don't be hanging out with the parents.
Yeah. But this was a bizarre. I thought this case was very funny. In a way, it's very sad.
It's very sad, and I feel really bad for Pat, because it's like, maybe if your partner is thinking like that, maybe it's time to leave and find somebody else.
Yeah, at the based on their written reaction, it sounds like this relationship might not be the best.
Was the other partner, was Pat's partner a gamer as well?
Didn't sound like it, but it wasn't specifically mentioned.
But it's just so weird to me with parents and Pat, and it just I don't know.
Pat's
it just
parents,
seems
Pat's partner.
It seems uneasy in
Pat's
all
peers.
Because like if we figured out a verdict, but like if you had a girlfriend, wife, or whatever, and she kept playing as a man, would you be like, you're getting a sex change?
Right, yeah. No, it's so unless they were literally, like you said, it would have to be in every aspect of their life or something. But if just video games, it's the most asinine thing I can think of. It's so dumb to leap to that conclusion. Well, we made our conclusion, but maybe the viewers and listeners have different thoughts, or maybe they just have similar experiences where they've had something like this happen to them. Or if you just want to chime in and tell us how you choose what kind of character you play as in a video game. We want to hear from you. You can email us at geeksontrial@gmail.com. We'll maybe read some of those on the show if you send them in. And that's also where you can submit your own geeky cases if you have something, a dispute or a debate you want to settle from the world of movies, video games, comic books, whatever. Email them there or use the link in our description, which has a special form you can fill out.
Also, if you're listening to the show and you realize that this is your case that was on that we're talking about, send us an email so we can have you on the show and discuss it with you.
I thought you were going to say, if you're listening to the show and this made you realize that your sexual identity isn't what you thought it was, this was your awakening.
Well, we're turning into Dr. Phil. He's leaving this season. We're stepping in.
Oh no, Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil's leaving. You know, that's 70-plus-year-old man giving people advice.
Oh.
But that was what?
It's me, Dr. Phil.
Hi, Dr. Phil.
Howdy, y'all. I just wanted to say good work, and I'm happy to pass the baton to your new show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Phil. Hey, Dr. Phil, can you do us a favor and head on over to our Patreon page and support our show for just like a couple bucks a month?
You know that I will. In fact, I wish I could pay more. I might pay double the amount because I love y'all so much.
Perfect. I'll take your money, Dr. Phil, but you can do that.
I got something in my mustache.
Oh. It's gross. But Dr.
Phil,
you can do that by going over to patreon.com/geeksontrial, and you get early episodes, early access, and so much more by giving us just a few bucks a month. You can also help us out free by going into your favorite podcast catcher and giving us a 5-star rating, or doing so over on YouTube, giving us a thumbs up and subscribe, because we are both an audio show and a video show.
Yeah, tell a friend.
You didn't know. Tell an enemy.
Yeah, we're both. Listen to us everywhere. Watch us everywhere. Tell your friends. Maybe they have a case they want to submit. Spread the love. That would make us happy. If you want to follow us elsewhere outside of this show, you can find me on Twitter at Quentz and like Santana, baby. And I'll just this week my plug will be again my work over at GoNintendo.com, where my article should be up about the Mario Shake Shack thing.
Perfect. And you can find me over on YouTube. YouTube.com/The Snack Guy. And I'm doing an Easter video coming out shortly, because Easter's coming shortly.
Any tease on what that is? Or
it has to do with Peeps. There's a Peep episode. I'm
not a big Peep guy.
You'll find out my opinion on Peeps on this episode, and technically there might be 2 episodes coming out with Peeps. A double Peep party.
A bounty of riches.
God, we need to stop having peas in this episode.
Well, when Pat's Peeps
percolate,
or popularly pants.
Yep, that's how you do it. And until next time, my name is Ivan Hahn.
Mine is Jonathan Estes.
And this has been whatever show. Shit.
We were so
close. We're going to keep this in. And this has been Geeks on Trial.
Oh, we don't. Whatever. The name's not important.
I forgot the name of the show.